easy full stroke front crawl, just for a minute or two. We've got a lot to get through. I will be interrupting with all the times. All you need to do is just stay on top and follow along with the instructions. We're going to do a little bit of backstroke, then some slow front crawl with the surface recovery. We will ditch the chords for that, and then we'll break into varying lengths of a full stroke component, okay, with the chord. So it's always 1 minute back, 1 minute slow front crawl with the surface. Might just encourage you to pivot over and so you can get some rotation in, okay, or you can kind of stay standing up, whatever you feel is more comfortable. And then we're going with some long chords. If you've got your chords set up horizontally, you're going to have to pivot even more. It's not the end of the world. Just remember to try to get a little bit of rotation involved, okay? All right, are we good? Are we ready? Let's start with our minute of backstroke. Minute of backstroke, are we good? I'm gonna add the chords straight away. They're gonna be in the way a little bit, no doubt, but not the end of the world. Okay, here we go. Backstroke, keep the head nice and still. Keep the head nice and still. Rotate the shoulders from side to side. The two strokes, front crawl and backstroke, are very similar in terms of the body position. We also execute a catch position, just like on the front crawl. So if you can get used to creating propulsion on your back, pivoting the elbow, using the forearm. If you can see, it's not great here. So from once I'm in this position, it's that sort of a movement, okay? That will help, that will help. And we often challenge in sort of the fun relays at the end of sessions, you know, the other strokes and other sort of odd stroke anomalies, things like reverse front crawl with the face down. You know, if you can find propulsion in these odd ways, sculling is a great one for promoting that. Then once you sort of get into your full stroke front crawl position, it can feel a whole lot easier. 3, 2, 1. Let's go into a very slow full stroke front crawl, please. Slow full stroke front crawl. These are so light that I have just got my thumb attached. And really the reason for this, so I don't like the stretch chords yanking the arm forwards, but with a light dumbbell, it's a little bit more controlled. And these muscles through the back, whether you're sort of a straight arm recovery or a high elbow recovery, both have their merits, both have pros and cons. But when you get to the end of a long distance swim, you know, this is a part of the stroke that will suffer, this recovery. And if it recovers a great deal and it starts to become quite low and wide, then there's ramifications for crossing over, for sweeping across, for undoing all of that good work. The legs jump around to splay and balance them and so on. Okay, back onto our 2 minutes of full stroke front crawl. 2 minutes of full stroke front crawl. Okay, here we go. If you just joined us, you can use this as your warm-up, no problem. Okay, 2 minutes of full stroke front crawl on the long chords. Use it to warm up if you've just joined. Is that Tracy? Welcome. Hello, hello. You haven't missed much, don't worry. Hope you had a good weekend, everyone. 2 minutes, please. 2 minutes of easy full stroke front crawl. We've got blocks to do as usual. They're going to take the following format: 1 minute of backstroke with a light dumbbell if you've got it, or tin of beans, or nothing. If you don't have anything, it's not the end of the world. But it always starts with a minute of backstroke, a minute of slow front crawl with a surface recovery into varying lengths of full stroke on the chords. Okay, first one is 2 minutes. The next one is going to be 4. The next one is going to be 8. And then we're going to work down the other side. Okay, use this to warm up if you're just joining us. And then we'll get going with the good stuff shortly. No tension on the chords really, or very little, just while we're getting warmed up still. You'll be pleased to know I've just literally just this minute, I was a fraction late getting started. Just had the pink bottles arrive. They look really nice. I'm very excited to bring those to the lake tomorrow, start shipping those out. We've had some orders, so thank you for that, for supporting us. 6 main sets. They'll be great once you get into the pool. Hopefully that will be July 4th. We're still waiting for confirmation. Okay, in 10 seconds, we're then going to jump to round 2, which is back to the beginning. 1 minute of backstroke, 1 minute of slow front crawl with a slow recovery onto the chords, okay? Good stuff. Let's reset, and here we go. Backstroke, backstroke, nice and easy. Add your beans, add your tins of beans. I nearly said give it some gas, but no, we don't want to do that. Pick up your light dumbbells if you've got them. If you haven't, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. It'd be good to have a little bit of weight, especially on the next exercise with the surface recovery. Keep the head nice and still. Brush the ear with the upper arm as it sweeps past. We're trying to enter with the little finger, pulling with the forearm and the palm just as we would on our full stroke front crawl. Good work, everyone. Last 15 seconds. Keep this nice and steady. It's the weight that's going to sort of just slowly introduce a little bit of a burn. We're not trying to create huge repetitions, loads and loads of fast, inaccurate movements. Just keep it steady. Okay, full stroke, please. Full stroke with a surface recovery. Nice high elbow if that's sort of the way you're swimming. Nice straight arm if that's the way you're swimming. As I mentioned, both have merits. What we're doing is just working an often neglected area. And if you've done sort of a 5K or upwards of 5, these muscles will really feel it, okay? Most people, the pulling, we've done loads and loads of submerged pulling, and that area copes quite nicely. But this surface recovery, the muscles through the back that are involved in this movement, they start to get tired, the elbows drop, or the whole arm drops, the recovery is low and wide, and then problems as the legs kick out to splay. Okay, remember this time we're on to 4 minutes. We're on to 4 minutes. Pick up your chords. We're on to 4 minutes now. It is kind of an odd pyramid set. No tension really. Just work the mechanics, work the movements. That's better. I can see you now, Tracy. All I saw was your hands. That's good. That's good, everyone. Well done. So, 4 minutes of full stroke. If you're feeling good, if your warm-up's done and you're feeling okay, add a little bit of tension. Maybe drop down a step if you're in a stairwell like I am. Take a step back with the cord so there's a little bit of extra tension. Fantastic. We've got 3.5 minutes to go. 3.5 minutes to go. Long way to go yet. Keep switching the shoulders from side to side. A little bit of daylight between the fingers. Work on your streamline. Pivot early with the elbow. Keep the head nice and still for now. Just let's focus on body rotation, especially if your chords are horizontal. A little bit trickier to wiggle the hips when you're 90 degrees at the hips, bent over to pull on the chords. That's why I really like this vertical drop with the chords, works nicely. Now I'm sort of, you know, from here, if I were to add in a surface recovery, I would get the full rotation. The hips would be switching from side to side. It just takes us one step closer to full stroke front crawl. You know, I don't want to not, you know, you don't want to swim with a 90-degree position of the hips. So if there's a way we can avoid that, fantastic. I've got a simple pulley system up there off of a piece of elastic. These are cord. There's no elastic here, but where the pulley joins, you might be able to see that there. Then there's elastic above that. Okay, I gave that a really good tug to impress you, thinking it was really, it's not that strong to be honest. I should make it stronger. But then we'll keep bumping the heads as we walk past. Okay, that's halfway through this block of work, halfway. 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes to go. Keep pushing through, reach for the hips. Remember the hips are rolling out of the way as the hand pushes through, stays a little bit more central for a little bit longer than you might imagine. Don't sweep wide around the hip, throwing the hips around from side to side. Keep the water going back towards the feet for as long as possible. Keep you moving forward as straight as possible. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds to go. Then we're on to round 3. Again, it's always 1 minute of back stroke, 1 minute of slow front crawl with the surface recovery. And then we've got Another block on the chords. Last minute coming up, last minute coming up. Don't let the technique suffer. Keep working. Symmetry, same trajectory of the hands, same pathway under the body, same angles at the elbow, same firmness through the wrist all the way through. Maybe accelerate a little bit if you can towards the back of the stroke. Start soft and then drive it through. There's no point sort of being aggressive as you turn that over and create your catch position, because you're not actually pulling yourself forward at that point. Wait till you're in that vertical position. Obviously, if I were in a horizontal position, okay, I'm looking at my vertical forearm at that point, driving me forwards. Okay, so if you're standing up, obviously we're trying to create that horizontal forearm early. Try to hit that by the time it gets to the eyes and then accelerate through. But there should be no discrepancies between left and right. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Pick up your dumbbells if you've got them. Okay, I'm feeling pretty warmed up now, so I'm gonna add a slightly heavier pair. It's gonna give me a little bit of a slower movement. Hopefully the accuracy improves. As that light weight moves further away from the body, it feels heavier. I've got to control that. It's great movement. Great work for the all the muscles being recruited and involved in that. Good work. Last 20 seconds, last 20 seconds. Pivot at the elbow, pulling with the forearm just as we were. Try to brush the ear. Rotate from side to side. Remember, with backstroke, the hands stay completely opposite each other. There's no options, unlike front crawl. To do it well, you must keep them completely opposite each other. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. It's nice, slow surface recovery. I'm going to try it standing up this time, just so I can get the hips involved a little bit more now. It's a little bit more aggressive as I now have more gravity to sort of recover against on that surface. But I am enjoying that better body position. Last 30 seconds. Well done, everybody. Well done. Keep it slow. This bit does not have to, in fact, the slower the better. We actually do a drill where we call it the slow motion arms. Normal legs, but trying to keep the arms as slow as possible, but keep them both in motion. Don't let it become a sloppy swim down, a sloppy sort of catch-up drill. It's just slow. We're keeping the hands opposite each other. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Back on the chords, back on the chords. Here we go. 8 minutes. This is the big one. If you can, take a step back. Good work, everyone. Shoulders should feel good now. That slow movement with a little weight is an absolute killer. Fantastic. Keep the head still. We've got time now, actually. We've got time. I'm going to add in some breathing. Okay. Hopefully you're still getting this. I've just been told the internet's a bit unstable and seems to be every day now. Hopefully it's still, I can still see all of you. Okay. So let's go 3 to the left. I'm just going to sort of space them out a little bit more, working on keeping the head nice and still. I'm going to take my 3 strokes to switch across to the other side. Pick up the pace. It's good to mix it up. It's good to mix it up. I'm still getting sort of the bilateral effect of switching from side to side, so there's no bad habits being, wouldn't say be erased. You can still, just because you switch your breathing pattern doesn't mean, but it should just help stop the bad habits. You keep interrupting things, you keep switching sides, and that sort of repetitive movement where I'm breathing to one side, I'm dragging that arm across, breathing to one side only, and that momentum drags that arm across. That's what we want to interrupt and stop from happening. Okay, so bilateral, good for training, not always the answer on race day. You know, I remember the Bournemouth triathlon. You swam parallel to the beach in 2 directions. It's good to be able to look at the beach, you know, as you went in one direction, and then to reverse and come back, obviously you'd need to switch sides, but that stopped the waves, the surf rolling in, crashing against you, and just gave you that little bit of shelter. Good work, everyone. 6 minutes to go. 6 minutes to go. Let's go back. You start talking and immediately you lose focus, don't you? It's better when I'm on poolside and I'm just watching you guys, giving you the feedback, the information, but trying to do it at the same time and keep an eye on the timings. It's a lot to take in. Good work. 3 to the right. And if you've done this with us before, the key thing, I'm still trying to work on that pivot, even though I'm turning into the breath. When we get tired and lazy, often we need the help, bring the head up for air, and we lean on that straight arm, pushing down. And that is going to keep bouncing you along, not going to allow you to pull yourself forwards. Keep setting the catch, set the catch, regardless of whether I'm breathing left or right or not breathing. Pulling yourself forward, coupled with a streamlined body position, is probably the most important thing you can, I mean, literally that is, obviously you need to breathe, you need air, but take that out of the equation, pulling yourself forward rather than bouncing yourself up. You know, if you haven't got that, you will never, ever reach your maximum potential. You could have the highest VO2 max, huge amounts of fitness in reserve, the strongest, longest arms, but if they are literally propelling you in the wrong direction, you're going to get tired and you are not going to swim as fast as you might like. That is halfway. That is halfway. 4 minutes to go. Keep it going. Keep it going. Run a little diagnostic through the stroke. Remember the teaching points. Start from the fingertips. As I get to my extension, I'm turning fingertips to elbow over. I'm pulling with that unit, fingertips to elbow, sending the water backwards. Sending the water backwards. That involves an early pivot from the elbow. The elbow pops out from head on. You can see it quite nicely. From there, elbow pops out wide, keeps the hand central. And that then engages this forearm to help drive me forwards, okay? Elbow pops out wide. Hand remains central. You know, we talk about the differences between open water and pool-based swimming. I mean, pool-based is a lot easier in terms of the black line on the bottom, the lane ropes, the tile symmetry. Everything is keeping you moving forwards, helping you to correct whether you're aware or not, but you're being nudged forwards in a straight alignment. Take all of that away and your stroke will take you where it wants. Hence we look for symmetry. And if you look at good pool swimmers, and obviously it's not the easiest to get good underwater footage of good open water swimmers, but even though all of that is being done for them, sort of this autopilot helping to keep you straight. Look at some good pool swimmers and you will see symmetry, you'll see similar movements between the left and the right arms, and it makes sense. Everything is balanced, everything is channeling with the same degree of pressure, the same speed, the same movements, and it's sending you forwards. And the straights are unkept. I'm kept nice and straight. Well, welcome back. Hopefully that wasn't me dropping out. Hopefully everyone's been catching up and seeing this. Last 90 seconds of this long stretch. I know it's a bit of a dull one. Tracy, did you just go off and have a cup of tea? 90 seconds to go, 90 seconds to go. And then we're back on our backstroke and our surface recovery front crawl. Good work. If you feel the stroke shortening, if you feel things getting a little bit, we're only about halfway through the session. So if it's getting a bit much, remember, take a step forwards. I'd rather the full session done, if possible, with better technique rather than shortening the technique just to sort of accommodate the fatigue and try to get through the session. Doesn't help, really doesn't. Last 45 seconds, last 45 seconds. Good work, everyone. We'll take a little bit of a breather so we can have a quick drink. I'm going to show you the new pink bottles. Obviously, I will not drink from one. The sister who runs the company, she wouldn't let me. We're trying to sell them, so I've got my usual drinks bottle. But you can have a look at the nice new pink ones. Got 6 main sets on them, a warm-up, a subset, and a cool-down. We've got a website called sessioninabottle.com where there's videos to help describe the drills. There's little technical pointers to help you get more out of the session so you don't just swim it the same way repeatedly. 3, 2, 1, fantastic. Take a little breather. Well done, everyone. Well done. Have a drink. Here they are. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Look how bright that is. Wow. You'll see that on the end of poolside. Okay. Similar design to the others. Warm-up subset. And then you've got your choice of main sets. Okay. Hope you like those. They're available on the website now. We'll be bringing them to the lake tomorrow. And obviously going forwards Thursday, Friday, Thursday and Saturday. All right, let's get ready for our backstroke. Let's get the chords out the way. Let's start the second half, Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Backstroke, please. 1 minute of backstroke. 1 minute of surface recovery front crawl. And then we're just going to drop it down to 6 minutes. 6 minutes, okay? Then we're going to drop it to 4 minutes, and then we're finally finishing with the two. Don't like to start Monday morning with a bit of a moan, but I was notified this morning by the docks people that somebody in a swim for try hat was in the docks at a time that they weren't meant to be swimming on the course, where they weren't meant to be, which did not help us. Obviously, from the photo they sent, I couldn't see who it was. I didn't recognize them. We've sold lots and lots of swim hats over the years. But please, the little companies that run these events, we need, let's go into full stroke front crawl, guys. The small companies that set these things up, without the pools, we are struggling. And to possibly have the Docks Association or whoever it is, Rodma or someone, take that away would be really unfortunate. And I would hate to be considered to be a part of that. So please swim at the right times. Swim in the right areas, respect sort of, the safety measures put in place to help out, okay? If you want to have a look, there is a picture on Instagram. I posted it, but, we don't know who it is. But just please respect the water and the people that put these sessions on. That's someone's livelihood that might disappear if the docks take the swimming away. All right, last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, that's good, that's good. Back on the chords, please. Back on the chords. Here we go. Fantastic work. Take a step back if you can. If you feel the stroke shortening, the technique disappearing, the arms are just burning too much, take a step forwards. It is not a problem. Good work, everyone. Get this one done. There's only 2 more rounds to go. Okay, so for me, usually what happens, the triceps start to get a little bit fatigued at this point. Do your best to keep focusing on finishing. Repeat the stroke. Reach for the knees. Reach for the knees. Keep the palm facing the feet, pushing the water back. Don't push the water up or down. You've got to turn that over so the palms are now facing the floor as I'm in a standing position, or facing the wall I'm swimming away from, even to the extent you can put a little bit of a pivot in the wrist before the recovery, okay? Think about that as you keep pushing the water back for as long as possible. Good work, everyone. And let's go back to some breathing now, okay? For those that have been doing the cord sessions for quite some time, if we could help break the habit of single-sided breathing being your only option, as we said on race day, single-sided is a good thing. It's great if you can choose which side that is. But in training, in order to minimize the bad habits getting a grip, it would be amazing if you could switch that from side to side. And the most important thing is that we keep on pivoting, pulling with the forearm, rather than pivoting at the shoulder, leaning on that arm to help the breathing. And what goes wrong? What goes wrong? As we tire, the rotation lessens. Okay, so that shoulder stays low, the trailing shoulder stays low, and I'm trying to turn into my breath and it's blocking. Okay, simple as that. It's blocking, it's in the way. If I can get onto my side a little more, keep elongated, keep stretching from side to side, get that trailing shoulder out of the way, I should have a much easier job of turning to the side to get the air in. That's what we're looking for. That's why our rotation is so important. Yes, it makes the stroke a little bit longer. It makes us have a smaller surface area cutting through the water, but it also enables us to get a nice, easy breath, a nice long window of opportunity to turn and get the air in, switch through. The breathing does not become part of the arm recovery, and then sort of the momentum builds up and it throws things from side to side. Keep rotating. And I like to refer to that as creating my internal rotation. So from the legs, helping to shift the hips, helping to drive the shoulders from side to side. That is how I create my rotation internally. If none of that is coupled together, if that's not connected, and then my only alternative is to create the rotation externally by pushing that arm down, that lever, to help lift the shoulder, to help get the breath. That is going to cause problems that your physio will need to address through your shoulder at some point, more than likely. It's going to bounce you along in the wrong direction. It's just not going to go well. So think of it in terms of internal rotation, external. And just simply, if you just sort of work on your front crawl legs and a very simple drill called the torpedo drill, switching the shoulders from side to side without the head moving, use a snorkel, that can help you do a little bit more of this. And then have that movement flow into the full stroke. Fantastic. Switch from external rotation into internal rotation. Make breathing easier, make breathing to both sides easier, give yourself a chance of setting the catch on both arms, regardless of whether you're breathing or not. That's good swimming. Okay, last 90 seconds, keep the pressure there, take a step forwards if you need, take a step backwards if you can, or save that for the last couple. Just shuffle your feet a few centimeters if necessary, or bend your knees a little bit if you're in the vertical position, if you just want a little bit more tension. Fantastic. Last 75 seconds. Keep the same rhythm, keep the same length of stroke. Keep the head still unless you are adding in some breathing. Bring that shoulder in through to the chin, okay, but keep the chin still. Don't sort of nudge that from one side to the other. Don't exaggerate and cause problems. Less than a minute, Here we go. Good work, everyone. Last 30 seconds. Just a little bit more pressure if we can. Last 30, finish it off. We've done the big blocks through the middle. They're getting smaller now. Just 2 rounds to go. 2 rounds to go. 1 minute of back, 1 minute of surface front crawl into a 4. And then it's 1, 1, and 2 to wrap it up. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, everyone. Relax. Shake the arms out. I'm just resetting the clock. Get your dumbbells ready for a bit of backstroke. And here we go. Here we go. Nice and slow. Work on the accuracy. 1 minute of backstroke. Pivot. Drop the elbow. Once you've entered the water, pivot and push through with the forearm. Keep the hands at 180 to each other. I'm going to take a step forwards just because I'm going to keep crashing into those dangling stretch cords. There we go. Last 30 seconds. Head still. Excuse me, gonna have to sneeze. The hay fever's catching up with me. That's better. Sorry about that. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and switch into full stroke. Keep the beans in your hands or your dumbbells. Full stroke with the surface recovery, please. Full stroke with the surface recovery. We're still trying to catch with the dumbbell in the hand. Stay nice and narrow, pulling under the body, recovering over the surface. Stay narrow. Don't let those muscles drop. And so that arm is low and wide, which is then going to need a leg kick to jump out and counteract that movement. Okay, last 30 seconds. I know the shoulders are aching, mine are. Stay narrow, keep the stroke long. Pulling with the palm. If you can balance your dumbbells by the thumb, I'm still even trying to keep the hand shape. Okay, we want this to mimic as much of our full stroke as possible. 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Back on the cords, back on the cords. Here we go. Just 4 minutes, just 4 minutes. And then we've got the last round. I think Zoom might let me squeeze it all in. Fingers crossed, we'll see how that goes. If I disappear, you've got 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes remaining of this full stroke front crawl. And then it's 1 minute, 1 minute, and 2 to wrap it up. 1 and 1 and 2 to wrap it up. For a nice 38-minute block of work. Okay, very well done for a Monday. Nicely supplementing your open water swimming. Maybe some of you are back into the pools. I'm not sure what things are like around the world at the minute. But good luck if you can get some water time. Good work. There's a minute gone, 3 to go, 3 to go. If we can add a little more tension, it'd be great to finish strong, but don't let the technique fade. Wonderful stuff. Same symmetry of the arms, same speed, left and right. Start steady, build the power as you move through, slow to fast. We're not sort of ripping the front of the stroke. All those bubbles you often see being created doesn't help. It's going to lower the density of the water. That's why swimming is so tricky, because getting stronger does not necessarily equal getting faster. There is always this degree of finesse that is needed, this technique that is needed. So it's slow with a subtle skull out and in, not like the old days where it was a big keyhole S pull. It's a lot more subtle, just slightly out, in, within a very narrow channel, but predominantly under the body. It's rare that you see swimmers going outside of the shoulder or across towards the opposite hip. They just send the water backwards. It's just kept nice and simple, but it must be done from the fingertips to the elbow, not the fingertips to the shoulder. Last 90 seconds, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. We'll flow straight into this last one so that hopefully Zoom lets us squeeze it all in. If you missed Friday, it's up on YouTube. I kind of forgot about it, but I just uploaded it this morning. It's up there. It was a good, solid fitness set. really a nice one. It's challenging. It'll be hard to do without sort of someone helping guide you, but it can be done if you just draw it out on a sheet, as I do. They're stuck on a box in front of me, so I can watch. I've got my clock ticking, my stopwatch. You could get one of those apps, stopwatch apps, and program it in. I tried that. Things get quite convoluted. It's quite technical. If I was 30 years younger, maybe I'd have a better technical brain to figure that out. But sometimes just writing down a piece of paper using an old-fashioned stopwatch, it works quite nicely. Last 35 seconds. Finish strong, everyone. Come on now. Reach for the knees. Don't let the hands start to slip and exit early. Add in a little bit of breathing if it helps take your mind off the torture. Good work. I've just noticed I didn't put any lights on. Hopefully everyone can see. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Last time through, everyone, into our backstroke, Here we go. 1 minute, nice and slow. Keep the hands opposite each other. Switch the shoulders from side to side. I mean, if I was being filmed from above, you know, the body position, it is so similar. It is so similar. Okay, you probably wouldn't, you know, be able to tell the difference. Okay, and hence why we actually do this torpedo drill with the arms by the side and on their front and on the back. Both have benefits. Obviously, on your back, the breathing is a little easier. You've got more air coming in. You can do the drill for longer. Face down in the water without a snorkel. Somewhat limited. You can get a few strokes done, but try not to sort of get the breath by throwing the shoulder out of the way. Remember, we're trying to avoid that. Remember, it's internal rotation. That shoulder's moved, not as a consequence of that push down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Let's spin them forwards. I'm going to just pivot over just to sort of see where my arms are. Over the years, I've preferred this sort of classic high elbow, but you might be going straight arm. As I said, both have merits. What we want to do is just be narrow, whether it's straight arm up and over or whether it's high elbow. Both can work. If you rotate, remember, I had a chat with an old swimming colleague, he's now a physio. As long as you rotate, then the shoulders can absorb and accommodate this. Obviously, if the shoulder stays low and you try to recover this, that's a lot of impingement. That's not healthy. Equally, pushing down with a straight arm, not healthy. But keep your rotation. That should keep the shoulders healthy, whichever style of recovery you work on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Here we go. Last bit, everyone. Full stroke for the last 2 minutes. And we're out of here. That wasn't too bad. Hopefully there weren't too many interruptions with the internet dropping out. That would be annoying. If you want to do this one again, it'll be up on YouTube probably tomorrow. Maybe today. I'll try to get it edited together. Take a step back if you can. Keep the pressure on, but don't let the stroke shorten. Keep rotating. Keep bringing the shoulder through into the chin, but don't let it nudge the head. Don't let it bounce. Last, just over a minute to go. Well done, everyone. It's a big main set, 38 minutes. I mean, honestly, this, in a 90-minute session, such as we do at Mile End and Putney, by the time we warm up, do some drills in the subset, you're looking at, 45-minute, 50-minute main set. We're not, by doing these dry land sessions, you are not losing out too much, okay? Hopefully some of you have got back in the water and felt pretty good. That would be some nice feedback to hear, okay? But by doing these 30, 35, 40-minute blocks of work a couple of times a week, you're still really keeping the swimming movements, the muscle memory in place, and giving yourself a good chance to get back to fitness pretty rapidly. Finish strong, last 20. Let's add in a little bit of breathing just to finish well. Pure bilateral every third. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. I'm just going to switch into a little bit of backstroke just to reverse that. Have a little stretch down. Well done, everybody. Good work, good work. That was tough. Now, make that just over 40 minutes, what with the warm-up.